Hey guys, my name is Artem Samoilov, and on my channel we discuss all organizational, training, tactical aspects of the game called futsal, and also 6v6, 7v7 and 8v8 soccer. Let's go! So I have a question from Darren Hutchinson, who's saying that he has a team in 7v7 soccer. If the team is under 10 years old girls team, and the problem is that he doesn't really know what is the formation, what is the tactic to use when you you have to score, when it's completely necessary, right? When you are losing, or you have to draw, you have to win a game and get points. So what formation do you use, or what tactic do you use? And also, what tactic do you use when you are playing, when you have to protect the result, right? When you are leading, or for example if you are drawing and you have to make everything so you don't concede a goal. So besides these crazy tactics, when you for example send 4 of your players outside to attack the goal, to attack an opponent, and you leave basically 1 midfielder and 1 defender, and you are what you do is you are kicking the ball in, and they are trying to win it and shoot and score. Or if you give it to the defender, for example, and then he's trying to put it in the box then. Besides those crazy tactics, there is also a tactic which you can use, which is less dangerous, right? You can use 2-1-3 tactic, because in this case you have an opportunity to defend against a possible counterattack, right? You don't go just all guns blazing, you know, and you are keeping it cool, right, while you're attacking very strongly. So before you choose any tactic, also you have to understand what is your team like. Are your players capable of playing with their heads, right? Playing high balls and so on, or your team is more like a passing team. So that will depend on what tactic you are using. On this will depend the tactic you are choosing, right? So this is important to understand, that if your players, for example, are good with their head, are good with high balls, you have to bring most of them inside the penalty area and try to get the ball there, right? You can also try to get it from defense, straight from defense, or you can do it by putting one of your players on the side. For example, if you receive the ball here, one of these players, either this or this, have to drop back, and then you have to provide a cross to the box, right? So in this case we can see that there is a bit of a rotation. So if this player drops, right, and receives the ball, then this player has to attack the middle there. So you have 3 players there, and this player has to go forward to provide a support, right? So if the shot didn't go, if you weren't able to control the ball, this high ball, then you have someone to make a rebound shot. You also have someone to cover, right? So you are making a very strong attack, but you're also thinking about the consequences a bit, right? You don't put all your players inside there, because you will lose the goal in I don't know, 20-30 seconds, and there will be no point in that. So this is one of the ways, and also there is this way, when this midfielder drops here, for example, and this one goes inside, right, and this one provides cover, and this one provides like a second line of attack, if you will, right? So the rebound shot, he's taking a rebound shot. Or for example, if another team player has, I will use this cone, right? So another team player, for example, intercepts the ball, he can immediately attack him and maybe win the ball back. So it's important. So this tactic, I would choose this tactic because it's pretty obvious, pretty easy to understand, and it's a bit balanced. Even though there is an accent for an attack, right? You are making it balanced, and this tactic is mostly for those teams who have players who can play high balls, right? Who are good with their heads. Or if you have a passing team, if you have like more skillful players, more passing players, but they are not that high, they're not that tall, right? They're not fighting for the ball, for high balls very much, so you have to try and control the ball, right? But again, you are putting, in order to make a better, in order to make possession of the ball, in order to have the ball more than your opponent does, you have to play midfield, 3 players in midfield at least, right? And you also have to keep 2 guys at the back, because again, if you are making this crazy tactic, then again you have to bring the ball very fast to midfield from this player or from the keeper, for example, and it will be difficult. Here in this case you can play it a little bit, right? You can play it, you can bring your opponents towards you, and then you can use these free spaces to run in and to help out, right? So again, you have to provide more men in midfield, and then if the ball is in the midfield, then again you have to bring players forward. It's not enough with 1 player there up front, so you have to bring either this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and he takes cover, for example. This is one of the ways, right? And also you can play it like this, so you pass the ball here and this player drops here, for example, this player drops in the middle, this player provides here, pass here, and you go like that, right? So anyways, the whole idea of this, there are a couple of other variations here, but the whole idea of this is that as soon as you get the ball into the midfield, you have to, other players have to advance in a, if you will, higher positions, right? So if you are a midfielder, you have to bring yourself inside the box, right? And also you have to go in the free zone. So if you see that this player isn't moving, then this player should go back here, go in to the left, right? And this player, for example, can pass and go here, right? And you have to also give this player another option in midfield for a pass, and you have to provide cover. You never stay like this or like that. You always provide cover when your team attacks, and you do it in the middle, right? So you basically advance in higher positions. So midfielders go in attack, and defenders go into midfield, and you have to stay with like this as a result, 1, 2, 3, right? So again, you have a pretty balanced and very strong attack. You put 1 player inside there, it's too much, right? There is no free space for them to operate in, so the effectiveness of this is very low. Now, if we talk about the defense, right? If you have to like defend the lead, you have to. My formation, my favorite formation is 3-2-1. Again, I would not put 4 defenders, for example, and 2 midfielders, right? I think it's too much, because you have in this kind of soccer, you don't have that wide pitch, right, for 4 players. 3 players is completely enough here. Again, there will be misunderstanding here if there are too many here, so they will lose their covers, they will lose their positionings, their zones, and so on and so on. So I prefer this, so each and every player knows what to do. Left side, center, right side, right? You have 2 midfielders, and you have to have 1 attacker. This is my opinion. You can certainly play like this, right? But again, if you even play like this, if the ball is on the right, again you have to reconstruct all the time. So if your players understand this, then you have no problem. So if the ball is here, then again you have to go out, right, and you have to provide some pressure. And again, if you go out, you can see that you are not playing 3v3, right? 3-on-3, right? So you basically are playing 3-2-1 all the time. So for me, this formation is balanced, is pretty defensive, and if your players have good understandings, then you will have no problem with that. You can take a look at my other videos on those formations here, on YouTube. There is a video on 3-2-1 formation where I'm speaking about the defensive formation, where to run, what zones to cover when the ball is on the right, when the ball is in the center, when the ball is here, when the ball is here, so on and so on. So I will not probably repeat that here. I will just put a link in the description of this video for this formation 3-2-1 video, how do you defend in that kind of formation, right? So this is my opinion, this is what I would do. So if you guys like the video, please share this video in social network, please like that. Another thing that you can do, which is actually the best one, is subscribe for my channel. I will appreciate that. When you subscribe, you get weekly updates, you get more content than those guys who are not subscribed, and you also get free stuff for subscribing. Just check the description of the video. If you have any further questions on this, or if you have any questions on this kind of soccer game, or 6v6, 8v8 soccer, or futsal, just leave your questions in comments. I'll try to respond to all of them, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.